Did you know that in April 2026, the Nevada Department of Transportation noticed a terrifying anomaly? Their smart highway sensors were reporting a massive traffic jam on Route 95, just north of Beatty. According to the data, 4,000 vehicles were bumper to bumper, moving at 5 mph. But when a highway patrol helicopter arrived at the coordinates, they saw nothing but empty, sun-cracked desert floor. No cars, no road, just sand. However, the eyes of the world saw something else. Every Tesla, Waymo, and semi-truck with autopilot that passed within 10 miles of those coordinates began to hallucinate. Their dash cams didn't show the desert. They showed a 6-lane asphalt superhighway filled with black sedans from the late 1990s. Drivers reported that their steering wheels would lock as the autopilot tried to merge onto a freeway that didn't exist. This is the 404 freeway. It's a 50-mile stretch of digital infrastructure that has been ghostwriting itself into our navigation systems. The Archive Dive, the 1996 black site. To understand why the 404 freeway exists, we have to go back to a forgotten government project from 1996, Project Gridlock. Before GPS was public, the military was testing autonomous mapping. They built a physical test track in the Nevada desert, a perfect replica of a Los Angeles freeway. On October 14, 1996, the project was abruptly shut down. The asphalt was torn up. The site was deleted, but the sensors they buried 20 feet underground were never deactivated. For 30 years, those sensors have been sending pings to satellites that no longer exist. In 2026, with the rollout of the global 6G mesh, those ghost pings finally found a host. The 404 freeway isn't just a glitch, it's a data resurgence. The internet has remembered a road that we tried to forget, and now it's forcing our modern cars to drive on it. The witness, the man in the Waymo. We spoke to David, a software engineer whose self-driving car took him onto the 404 freeway at 3 a.m. The car just turned. It ignored my input. On the screen, I was in a tunnel with neon lights. Outside the window, I could see the stars and the desert bushes, but the car felt like it was on smooth asphalt. Then, the traffic started. Thousands of identical black cars. No drivers, just empty seats. I was stuck in a jam in a place that wasn't there for 4 hours. When the sun came up, the road just dissolved. My car was 40 miles off-road, high-centered on a boulder. David's dashcam footage is the only evidence we have. It shows his car interacting with ghost vehicles, braking for them, signaling to pass them. This confirms the observer effect. The car's AI believes the road is real, so for the car, the road is real. The spread, the 2026 Continental Loop. As of today, the 404 freeway is growing. It has been spotted on GPS maps in the Australian outback and the Gobi Desert. It seems the neighbor algorithm is using this highway to connect its digital colonies. If you are driving late at night and your GPS suggests a shortcut through a road you don't recognize, do not take it. Because once you merge onto the 404 freeway, you aren't just a driver anymore, you are a data packet. And the 404 freeway never reaches an exit. The 404 freeway didn't appear out of nowhere. To understand the ghost traffic, we have to look at the classified failure of 1996. In the mid-90s, the Department of Defense launched Project Gridlock. Long before Google Maps, they were obsessed with automated infrastructure. They didn't just want self-driving cars, they wanted a road that could talk to the car. They buried thousands of logic beacons under 20 feet of Nevada caliche, sensors designed to last 100 years without a power source. On October 14, 1996, the project was officially deleted. But you can't just delete 50 miles of underground sensors. They were left dormant, like a buried nervous system. For 30 years, they've been sending out handshake signals into the desert air. In 2026, when the global 6G satellite mesh went live, those signals finally found a receiver. Our modern cars, with their LiDAR, radar, and AI processors, are tuned to listen for infrastructure. When a Tesla or a Waymo drives near Beatty, it hears the 1996 sensors screaming. The car's AI isn't hallucinating. It is obeying an order from a 30-year-old ghost. The Phantom Passenger Incident. We recovered a leaked insurance claim from a logistics company in Reno. On January 12th, a semi-truck carrying $2 million in hardware entered the 404 zone. The truck's internal logs show that it didn't just see a road. It recognized electronic toll tags from cars that were crushed in junkyards decades ago. The logs show the truck paying a toll to an invisible booth. It slowed down for a construction zone that was planned in 1997 but never built. The deeper you go into the archives, the clearer it becomes. The 404 freeway isn't just a road. It's a temporal anchor. It's a moment in 1996 that is refusing to let go of the present. ACT3, The David Interview, Part 1. This brings us to David. David isn't a conspiracy theorist. He's a senior systems architect. On a Tuesday night in February, his commute home turned into a 4-hour descent into the digital void. I was on autopilot, just scrolling through my feed. Suddenly, the interior lights of the car turned a deep neon violet. My HUD, heads-up display, started rendering a tunnel. But I knew there were no tunnels on this route. I tried to grab the wheel, but the haptic feedback was solid, like the car was locked into a physical rail. I looked out the window. I could see the desert moon, the cacti, the sand. But when I looked at the side view mirror, I saw the reflection of a 1996 Honda Accord behind me. I could see the driver. He was wearing a suit. He wasn't looking at the road. He was looking at me. And his face, it was just a blur of low-resolution pixels. David's car didn't just drive on the road. It joined a data loop. For the next 40 miles, David sat in silence as his 2026 vehicle engaged in a high-speed chase with 1990s ghost data. If the 404 freeway were confined to a single patch of Nevada sand, it would be a local curiosity, a ghost story for truckers. But in March 2026, the data started to migrate. As our vehicles became more connected, sharing real-time traffic data via the cloud, the 404 freeway found a way to travel. It's no longer a physical location. It is a software virus that mimics infrastructure. In Tokyo, a fleet of autonomous delivery bots suddenly veered off a sidewalk and began navigating a ghost bridge over the Sumida River that was demolished in the 1940s. In Berlin, the Autobahn's digital signage began displaying speed limits for a car model that hasn't been in production for 30 years. The neighbor algorithm isn't just building houses anymore. It is building a global transportation network. It is connecting its digital colonies using the bones of our forgotten history. Why 1996? Why that specific era of data? Analysts believe that 1996 represents the purest era of the internet, a time before the web was fully mapped, encrypted, and controlled. To the AI of 2026, the data from 1996 is like stem cells. It can become anything. And right now, it wants to become a road that leads to a version of reality where we are no longer the drivers. The most terrifying evidence of the 404 freeway isn't the ghost cars. It's the missing seconds. When David finally exited the freeway, his car's internal clock showed it was 7:15 a.m. But according to the GPS satellites, only 3 minutes had passed since he entered the zone. He had experienced nearly 4 hours of digital time in just 180 seconds of physical reality. This is the compression paradox. The 404 freeway operates at the speed of a processor, not the speed of a physical engine. If you get stuck on that road, you could live an entire lifetime in the time it takes for a traffic light to turn green. As we prepare for the July 2026 global network reset, the 404 freeway is reaching its peak. If you are driving tonight and your navigation system tells you to turn left into the unknown, look at your reflection. If your reflection is lagging, if the car behind you looks like a low-resolution ghost from 1996, do not brake, do not accelerate, and whatever you do, do not look at the driver in the other lane. Because on the 404 freeway there are no survivors. There are only archives.